On her shoulders. And Jade, she calls that the eye of the storm. That sit-out power. Friday night SmackDown. Oh my God! Are you kidding me? Jade push-ups to mock you. Oh, black hole slam! And here it is. And Jade realizes it. It's her time. There it is. Jade it. What a counter! What a counter! Riptide!
Before SummerSlam 2025, WWE officials internally compared Jade Cargill to the Ultimate Warrior. Two separate people said it. That is not a throwaway comment. The Ultimate Warrior made 60,000 people react to his presence before he said a single word. Comparing someone to him means you believe they have a physical magnetism you almost never see. WWE believed Jade Cargill had it. She had the size, the athleticism, a 508-day unbeaten streak in AEW, one of the longest women's title reigns in major American wrestling history. And WWE had a plan. She was supposed to be women's champion months before SummerSlam. Then an injury happened. Then a 7-minute match at SummerSlam happened. Then Dave Meltzer said the woman they compared to the Ultimate Warrior was no longer being spoken about in the same light as Rhea Ripley. This video is the full story of what happened between those two moments, and why the story does not end where most people think it does. Because there is a full chapter after the 7 minutes that changes how you see every second of the match, and almost nobody has assembled it properly. Before November 2024, WWE had plans to put the Women's Championship on Jade Cargill. Meltzer said it explicitly. She was supposed to be champion months before SummerSlam. The injury disrupted everything. On the November 22, 2024 SmackDown, she was written off TV via a scripted car attack. The real injuries were serious: deep lumbar contusions, bruised kidney, sprained MCL, tibial plateau bone bruise, facial lacerations, months of genuine medical recovery. She missed the Royal Rumble. She missed WrestleMania weekend. Two of the most important opportunities of any WWE calendar year, both gone because of what happened in a parking lot on a SmackDown in November. Returned at Elimination Chamber in March 2025, won the Queen of the Ring defeating Asuka in the finals, and earned her SummerSlam title shot through the tournament. But the original plan had her as champion well before that. Everything at SummerSlam was playing catch-up with an injury that had stolen months from her push. She was no longer the performer executing a plan that had been built with her at the center. She was now a challenger trying to win back something that was always supposed to already be hers.
Jade Cargill in the ambulance, Bianca Belair joining her partner, and they're on their way to a hospital.
The match is not as simple as Jade Cargill lost in 7 minutes. Tiffany Stratton came in as defending champion 200 days into a reign she had held since January 3rd, 2025. By her own admission, she was terrified. Going into SummerSlam, I was so nervous. It was my first SummerSlam ever. She pulled through. But Jade almost did too. The match turned on one moment. Cargill hit Jade, her finisher, the move that ends matches. Clean, she went for the pin. She rolled too far. Stratton's foot found the rope. The count stopped. Cargill went for the avalanche Jaded from the second rope. Stratton countered. Prettiest moonsault ever. 1, 2, 3, 7 minutes. Stratton retained. Cargill had not been outworked. She had gone 1 inch too far chasing a finish she had already earned.
Cargill has the champ where she wants her. Jaded delivered for the championship. But Tiffany...
Here is what the footage alone cannot tell you. Dave Meltzer on Wrestling Observer Radio after SummerSlam, she was supposed to be world champ months ago. She got hurt, that delayed it. The person who was supposed to be world champ months ago is not losing in 7 minutes to a moonsault to Tiffany Stratton. Then the sentence that defined the post-match conversation: I don't think anyone is talking about her in the same light as Rhea Ripley today. And they were. 2 words, and they were, that tell you everything about the internal hierarchy shift. Before the injury, before SummerSlam, Cargill was being discussed inside WWE, in the same breath as the most dominant women's performer of the modern era. Then she lost in 7 minutes. The comparison stopped. Meltzer also cited the Ultimate Warrior comparison and said that post-SummerSlam she was, in his view, the weakest woman on the roster at that point. 1 match, 7 minutes, a public re-evaluation of an entire future. That is what the numbers inside the ring do not show. But the post-match commentary was unambiguous about what the business world inside WWE thought it meant.
Riptide! Rhea wins the WWE title!
Here is what Jade Cargill did after the loss, and it tells you everything about who she is. She did not disappear. She did not sulk. She did not complain publicly. She went to social media within hours and posted 4 lines. "I took a loss." Let her have her moment. Watch the skies. The eye of the storm is shifting. That is not the response of a performer who has accepted defeat. Let her have her moment is not a congratulation. It is a warning. Watch the skies is a person telling you, without saying it directly, that what you just saw is not the end of anything, it is the calm before something bigger. And then she backed it up. In the weeks that followed, Cargill wrestled a series of matches on SmackDown as a babyface challenger, building toward a rematch with Stratton. The first one-on-one meeting of their rivalry had ended in a no contest. SummerSlam was the second. A third was coming. And on October 24, 2025, Cargill did something nobody on the babyface side of the SmackDown roster expected. She appeared to rescue Tiffany Stratton from an attack by Julia and Kiana James, and then attacked Stratton herself. Jade Cargill turned heel. The storm had shifted, and it was pointing directly at Tiffany Stratton.
Stratton celebrating a victory here tonight on Friday Night SmackDown. Oh my God!
On November 1st, 2025, at WWE Saturday Night's main event, Jade Cargill defeated Tiffany Stratton to become the WWE Women's Champion, her first singles title in WWE. 3 months after the 7-minute SummerSlam loss that prompted Dave Meltzer to question her place in the hierarchy. 3 months after people inside WWE stopped comparing her to Rhea Ripley. She won the title as a heel, angrier, sharper, more focused than the babyface version that had come up short at SummerSlam. And she did not just win it, she held it for 169 days, which is the longest women's championship reign of 2025 and into 2026. She defended it through the end of 2025, through the first quarter of 2026, through a consistent SmackDown presence that made her the most dominant women's champion on that brand in years. She lost the title at WrestleMania 42 in April 2026 to Rhea Ripley. The same Rhea Ripley that Dave Meltzer said Cargill was no longer being compared to after SummerSlam. She lost to Ripley in the biggest women's title match on the biggest show of the year. Not in 7 minutes. Not with her foot on the rope. At WrestleMania, as the champion.
By Cargill! Cover! Jade Cargill wins! Cargill!
Here is what this story is really about. It is not about a 7-minute match. It is not about a foot on the rope. Those things happened, and they mattered in the moment, but they were not the end of anything. The real story of Jade Cargill in WWE is the story of a performer who was supposed to arrive at a certain place, got knocked off the path by an injury that was documented in medical language on WWE's own website, came back later than planned, was publicly assessed as having fallen from her previous standing by the most credible source in wrestling journalism, and then, quietly, in the months after the loss that people thought defined her, proved every assessment wrong. She won the title. She held it for 169 days. She faced Rhea Ripley at WrestleMania 42. The Ultimate Warrior comparison was premature in 2025. Whether it was inaccurate is a question the rest of her career will answer. What SummerSlam 2025 actually was, seen clearly from the outside of the moment, was not a burial. It was a delay, a detour, a 7-minute setback on a path that eventually led exactly where WWE originally planned it to go, just slower, and angrier, and considerably more interesting for it. WWE just put the full Tiffany Stratton vs. Jade Cargill SummerSlam 2025 match on YouTube. And the match is worth watching. But the match alone does not tell you what that match actually meant. Jade Cargill was supposed to be champion before it happened. An injury took that away. She got 7 minutes at the biggest show of the summer and lost because she went 1 inch too far trying to finish a match she had already won. Then she posted "Watch the Skies." Then she turned heel. Then she won the title. Then she fought Rhea Ripley at WrestleMania. The 7 minutes were never the story. The recovery was. Subscribe to Alpha War Room. Turn on notifications. This is the dark history that the highlight reel skips. See you in the next one.